Hello and welcome to TNA Top 10, episode 126, November 30th, 2025. I'm T Weave. With me, as always, are Andrew and Allison Faye. How's it going, fellas?
Hi.
Fellas.
What's up, fellas?
It's a
It's
big day.
raining.
Did anything happen in football today?
Not a single thing. And it's only been a week since we've done one of these, right? Oh, no, it's been 11 days since
Yeah,
we've
I'm
been
just
here.
asking if it was a big day in football. We're going to get there. I have
Yeah.
thoughts on
My,
one Lane Kiffin leaving Old Miss. But anyway,
All I have to
Lane
say-
Train's next destination is Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and y'all motherfuckers been put on notice. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead, Allison.
all I was gonna say was, and to any non-college football aficionados like myself, all you need to do is get two best friends like this who include you on a text chain, and you will learn really quickly about all things college football, because this weekend has been eye-opening for me.
Well, especially if you got one of your friends trying to keep up with a slide detailing all the coach.
And the other one cussing everybody out for thinking Lane Kiffin is the devil. But we'll get there in
I
a
love
minute. So the Lane train, like I said, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that's the headline. However, Allison does not know what awaits her January the 2nd, Terry. And that's just some housekeeping notes. That is when the portal opens.
Oh,
Transfer portal for college football opens January the 2nd. And it'll be open for 30 days. And good luck keeping up with everything that's going to happen with all these head coaches moving.
oh boy.
So this is episode 126. We will talk about all that college football stuff, and there were two pay-per-views, or whatever we call them in WWE now, since
Yelly.
since we've been here. And we'll also do the movie franchise villains list, and that'll wrap up our villain series.
Which was,
The-
by the way, a lot of fun. I really like doing a series.
Yeah, we're going to have to find a different one. Maybe we find like a hero or something like that series.
Ooh.
Or like best second person in a series, like who's the number 2 guy, something like that. Just a
Oh, I
little
like
off the wall thing. We'll discuss it. Terry, take notes because you're the only one keeping this on the rails tonight.
No notes here.
I
I've
do
taken
want
a
to
lot of notes today.
I do want to mention before we get fired up here tonight, there is no baseball talk, although Cody Bellinger allegedly is in the final discussion before winter meetings with signing with the Yankees. So we'll see what happens there. Also, behind me, that says 30-0. Nebraska is a volleyball school. That is 30 wins this season, undefeated, the number 1 seed in the 64-team tournament, the number 1 team in the country. How good is Nebraska volleyball? Well, they've beat 5 teams in the top 8 this year. And in conference play in the Big Ten, which features teams like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Penn State, Iowa, Indiana, all ranked teams, by the way.
Mhm.
They are 60-1 in sets. 60-1. 19 sweeps and 1 4-set game in
was
Big
that?
Ten conference play. UCLA of all teams.
Okay.
Wow.
And they broke the streak at 49 consecutive sets Nebraska had won up to that point. So
I think you're thinking about pickleball, Darren.
I was gonna
There-
say, just to note, Darren Staley is bringing violence early and fast.
Yeah.
So
I'm he can bring all the violence he wants.
I'm not
because-
putting the comments up on the screen where he's talking about Michigan because no.
No, definitely.
So-
we'll get there too. The quote game.
We will.
It was a game, all right.
All right,
But
well,
30
let's
and
keep moving.
30-0
Yeah.
Terry, 4-time national champions, first-year coach, former player and libero for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. This team held Penn State to a .011 hitting percentage Saturday night and swept them. Penn State, by the way, won the national championship last year.
Wow.
So, This team
I
is
got to look up
motivated.
stats to know what any of that means.
Well, .011 hitting percentage means they hit less than 100. And I'm not being a smartass. In volleyball, if you hit above 250, you're doing good.
Yep.
Nebraska has regularly been hitting 300 to 400, and they've held opponents to 150 or less,
Okay.
which means nobody's getting over the front three. Like the blocking is insane. Nobody's getting over the front three.
Well, we
But-
are done.
30 and 0,
soccer
and we are a
and football.
volleyball school. And when we talk about Iowa versus Nebraska, you will understand why we are a volleyball school.
So we're done with soccer till February. Sounds like I got an echo. Do I have an echo?
Yeah. I don't know.
I didn't hear it.
I did.
Anyway, so make sure it's not on my side. But yeah, we're done with soccer till February. They were 7-1-1 in the first half of the season.
Nice.
Okay.
Second place.
Excellent.
So we'll reconvene and it'll still be cold. But okay.
We say cold in Alabama, but Allison's judging us because she lives in Connecticut.
And I'm
I
the
mean,
one getting possibly 6 inches of snow on Tuesday, so we'll see.
That's rude.
You've heard that promise before, right?
Yes.
That's what she said.
Promised and failed.
It's also Bo Jackson's birthday today. I don't know how
Yeah.
old
Nice.
he is. I should have looked up that part.
Number 34.
Not the one. Yeah, not the one for Ohio State, not the fake one, the real one for Auburn from the 80s that did everything. And that brings something to mind because we got another birthday coming up soon.
That's ridiculous.
For those
Oh, so much fun.
not watching, sorry, we got some pictures here of Andrew. Andrew's birthday is Tuesday, is that correct?
Tuesday. Yes.
Tuesday. And it's
Yes.
a big number.
Yeah, allegedly. Number 40.
Number 40.
Number 40.
So we got pictures of a lot of different people with Andrew here. A lot of times we've had together. We got the dogs. We
Oh,
got
yes.
a picture of burning the house down there. And just for
Yeah.
Amy, and I don't even know if she's here, I've got Andrew and FTR right in the middle there.
That was before they started to suck. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, that was before they sucked. I met them at the Dorton Arena in Raleigh, and they were fantastic. They were there for the night with Steamboat, the last match, Ricky Steamboat, and they wrestled Nick Aldis and Black Machismo, Jay Lethal, and Brock Anderson that night in a 6-man tag with Steamboat. It was the Enter the Dragon event. Absolutely wonderful people to meet. Fantastic event. And then they started wrestling like shit and resting on their laurels that they're the best tag team in the world. And they just suck. So, when they can deliver their own finishing move properly again, then maybe I won't be so hard on them. But until then, I
I don't watch
apologize.
lately, but I
for
get a
nothing.
text. I get a text in the group once in a while. Every time they do it, and you say how horrible it is, I get a text.
Well, the last few have looked like the Jackson brothers, Nick and Matt, delivering their Meltzer driver. I mean, they're completely missing the damn thing. So until they start wrestling again, then we'll worry about it. But yes, thank you. I will be 40 on Tuesday. My big thoughts on this are it's just another day. And I will be 1 day older than I was Monday. It just happens to be 40 versus 39. So while you all want to rib me for this, it is not happening.
So
not allowed.
it's not a rib as in, haha, you're
Celebration.
40. I think you need to understand you are entering the best phase of your life. Like,
Well,
and we're
Same
getting ready to
thing.
leave it.
yeah, I'm literally Amy and I leave next year. Next year, Amy and I turn 50, and I will use your big milestone birthday and my big milestone birthday for a big milestone birthday trip. So shut up, and we're gonna keep doing that. So no
Cool.
complaining.
yeah, well, I already paid for that trip.
So did I. We're good.
Costa Rica. And
Yankees.
opening day at the
And
stadium.
Yes.
Yeah. where we're
And
gonna
as
wear our
Super,
shirt.
as Super Dave says, new aches and pains are incoming. So welcome.
Yeah, absolutely not. I refuse. It knows better than to fuck with me. And that's the thing.
All
Like
right.
everybody wants to talk about arthritis and age and all. Everybody knows that I just have the disposition that you don't do that to me. I cannot tell you the number of people who do not believe that I'm 40 years old on Tuesday, because I still act like a child, and that will always be that way. It will never change. And like Leo DiCaprio, I'm not fucking leaving. So there it is. But yes, this is cute, Terry. I really appreciate all of the pictures, and
Stole them
the
right
dog,
from your
of course.
Facebook. Yeah.
The dog, of course, is showing her age. She's got a little more white in the face these days.
Mm.
And the big black one, he looks the same, at 12 and a half as he did at 6 and a half.
We even have a pre-beard picture on the bottom there. I don't know which
yeah.
niece this is, but
That's Madison.
That's
Yeah.
Madison. Yep.
Mhm. And she was 4, so I was 27, 28.
okay.
Okay. Never shave your beard again, mister. Because in this picture, I'm like, oh, he's like 16, 17.
Yeah.
Don't shave your beard. Is that enough? You're
that's
10
one of the
years
reasons-
younger than me. I don't want you looking 20 years younger than me. All right.
That's the reason I don't shave it, is because that's what it looked like.
God.
I wonder how much younger I would look without the
Like a
gray
child, don't do it. Thank you.
hair. We may have a surprise episode.
Oh,
At some point.
I'm
I have had a beard. Now that you mention this, I have had a beard since 2018, and I
You're
mean,
welcome.
like, have had a beard and not ever shaved completely clean shaven since 2018.
Yeah, not since I knew you. You haven't.
No, and it's short now. I mean, this is short compared to
That's
how
not
it's
as
been
short
in
as
the
it
past.
got this summer. This summer you went shorter.
You should see the driver's license photo.
Nope. I've
I've
seen it.
No,
never
I mean the
settled.
one with the long beard.
Oh,
I've never settled on a trimmer, and every time I get a new one, I cut it way down lower than I thought I was about to.
Yep.
But it
Yep.
grows back.
That's what I was going to say. I get my hair cut every 6 weeks. My beard, I have to trim every week. Otherwise, I can grow. I could grow a year, and that sumbitch, I would look like one of the people out of Duck Dynasty. Like, seriously.
well, I mean, your dad's beard was pretty
Oh, yeah.
great.
Yeah, his beard was magnificent. He didn't never cut it. He had people cut it for him. So he'd do the scissor stuff and have him trim it up. But yeah, he's in the middle there. His beard was really good. And that's after he beat cancer. That's how good his beard was. So, and he had chemo and radiation. So that's after he beat cancer. That's one of the last pictures of him when he was really semi-healthy, because he was not good after that. But anyway, but that was, the hair. I'll always be able to grow hair. I mean, that's just how it is. It gets getting a little bit thinner back here, but I mean, whatever.
Well,
Sorry,
happy
Terry.
birthday on Tuesday. That's when the audio will drop. So it
Thank
will be
you.
your birthday that day. Let's go ahead and start up talking about these pay-per-views. Full gear.
Are you
Nothing
thinking we're
other
going to be
than
here a while, Terry? Somebody told me this pay-per-view was a lengthy one.
It
It
is.
was.
We don't have to talk about all of it,
But it was a good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it.
we had steel cage matches,
There
$1 million
was
matches, multiple
plethora
no
of
DQ
blood.
matches.
Multi-man matches for you, Terry. They put those
Yeah.
on the show just for you.
Yeah, they came up with weird names for teams. Timeless
Yeah.
love bombs,
Oh my God! And what a weird stipulation.
babes of wrath.
I will save that for when we discuss it. But what a weird stipulation. Bober, you should be sorry. It's my birthday celebration, apparently. And I was unaware of this thing. And now you finally show up. Must have been at ball hockey. You got to tell the elderly to get a move on. Even Meltzer thought it was too long. Please, Dave, don't tease me. Dave Meltzer hasn't had an actual rational thought about professional wrestling for the last decade.
That's what she said.
Correct. The dude is a complete fucking moron. Go ahead and hit it again. That's what he said.
That's what she said.
Yes.
Lost track of time. Inexcusable, sir. I mean, I've been ranting for the last 10 minutes. But anyway.
All
What
right.
was the best match on the pay-per-view?
Do you have any of the no graphics, right? So
No
I gotta look
graphics.
this up.
I
Right,
was too
'cause I don't
busy
remember.
updating
Fired
coach
coaches.
graphics. Yeah.
Fired and hired.
Yeah, birthday graphics, coaches graphics. I
Best
didn't have
match
time
on
for
the.
anything else.
Did you say best match on the card, Terry?
Yeah. Trying to get you to say something positive.
About AEW? I mean, that's a stretch.
Because I did not see this. I was in Chattanooga.
Let's see.
I'm trying to think. I didn't really think that there were that many bad matches on this card. Trying to remember all of the matches, but
Yeah, I know.
hold
That's
on.
where I'm.
Let me open the notes.
How was Samoa
what I'm-
Joe and Hangman? Okay.
Bloody.
Bloody.
Was that the one y'all said too much blood?
I thought it was too much. But
Yeah.
because by the third match, well, when I talk, Bober, it comes out that way. The tone of my voice gets me in more trouble than anything else. But by the time it was the third match where they're bleeding like a stuck hog, I mean, at that point, you're just desensitized to it. But Samoa Joe almost Eddie Guerrero'd himself, and like he was gushing blood to the point where he was spitting it out of his mouth, which may be why they only went 14 minutes in the main event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he was bleeding badly. But the problem with the setup of the match is you had a street fight or a no holds barred match between Fletcher and Briscoe. And then you had another no holds barred match. And then you had the steel cage match. So, it was Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly had to be no holds barred.
Right.
For whatever reason. They could have just done a submission match because that was the whole point of the match or the story. But I don't know.
I thought Pac Darby Allin was pretty good.
I thought that was very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
That was probably for me the best match of the night.
Yeah, and it was really good considering Darby was in it. So
correct.
I mean,
I knew you were going to say that too. I was like, I'm going to say this, and Andrew's either going to agree with me because of Pac or say he's surprised Darby was that good. But
yeah, I mean,
I was very impressed.
Yeah, Darby Allin is a horrible professional wrestler because he's a glorified stuntman who absolutely needlessly puts his body through things that nobody really wants to see. But what they did when they told the story of the quote second degree burns, and you got Pac raking his back, and you've got him doing like the old, probably politically incorrect to call it this, but the Indian burn where you used to grab each other's arms like kids, and you just do the friction burn and all that. Like I said, it's probably politically incorrect, but they're still the Redskins and they're still the Indians as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, at least when we talk on this show. But the psychology of doing that was actually really, really good, considering it was Pac who threw him onto the flaming tables like 10 days earlier. So I thought that was actually pretty good. Bober seems to think this show was better than last night's show. I would say this show was far more violent than last night's show.
Well, we had, so you said it before, and I agree with this, but when you have the winner or one of the entrants in the main event spitting out mouthfuls of blood, it's too much blood.
Mouthfuls.
That was where I cut it. Like that's where I was like, okay, we're gonna stop watching this now.
And I don't know. Like, so here's the one thing. On the show, I had said I didn't see that Joe was gonna win. So Joe won. I mean, they used Hook and the whole quote semi-turn bull whatever.
Yeah.
But Joe won. And now we have Hangman and Swerve together, which is what it is. Against the Ops, I guess. Whatever. But
whatever. it was still good.
Yeah,
I still
it's good.
enjoyed the entire PLE. Like there
So-
was
What about the Casino Gauntlet match?
Terrible.
mm-mm.
Terrible. They're all terrible. It's such a bad
Was
idea
that-
and a bad concept.
Was that the one for the new national championship?
It was.
Yes.
Yeah,
The one
that
they
was
gave
horrible.
So
Agreed.
Ricochet.
Gave to Ricochet.
Yeah, that was horrible. Horrible, and I'm really pissed off they gave it to Ricochet.
It seems like it was the first one. No, it couldn't have been the first one. I remember they had one of those. We're getting dangerously close to talking about mistakes. The night we were in Chicago. And
Yes.
'cause that's how they did good with that pay-per-view because MJF came back
Yeah.
and he had that head on or whatever, and we didn't know who it was or whatever.
The Joker or the
The
Devil.
The devil mask. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was great. I am surprised you remember that, but that was
I remember that part.
They should have given the Acclaim the titles that
Let's
night.
not
but they did
start.
not.
we
They
even
did not.
I said that night. All right, that's how good they
I
were.
remember. I do. That was I remember the tag team match. Yes.
So
That place went nuts.
the concept was novel when it was novel, but it's not novel
Right.
any longer.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
And
Agreed.
they ran out of people that would be believable to win the title. Now Ricochet's probably an okay person to put on it.
Yeah.
But let's face it, WWE does, or WWE, they don't either. AEW doesn't need another championship. They can't explain what a continental title is or an international title is or whatever they want to call those, the United title now. And now you've got Okada in the C2 because it's cool to say C2 instead of Continental Classic, but only one of the titles is up for grabs instead of the unified titles. So, I mean, I don't get the Bober's crazy. I love that.
I think
have
he's
a
writing
picture
tips.
of Allison with the Acclaimed, and it is one that I treasure. But like they can't tell a good story explaining why these titles matter. And now you've introduced a title last seen in 1986 in Jim Crockett Promotions. And last fought over, I believe, by Dusty and Tully. And now we're going to somehow tell a story with Ricochet, light-skinned MJF. Because that's what he is. I mean, all he is a
That's
carbon
what he
copy of
wants to be.
MJF.
He's
With better. The thing is, MJF's shtick is old too, and where the fuck is he? He didn't show back up, but Swerve did. Swerve came out after the match, But anyway,
My problem with Ricochet is he is not ready to hold a title. He is not good on the mic yet. I don't care what anybody says. Listening to him is painful.
But I mean,
The
he
problem
gonna
is you
get
say he's
there?
not-
He's been around forever. So
yeah, he's been around forever. He's never going to get there. Yeah,
Nobody's-
me and Terry had the same thought. But anyway, I just don't. I think honestly, I liked the Fletcher and Briscoe match more than I thought I would have.
Mhm.
The Moxley, Kyle O'Reilly match. Why Kyle O'Reilly? I mean, I know people would say why not, but like, why Kyle O'Reilly to be the guy that's going to help tear apart the Death Riders because Moxley keeps losing, and then in the C2 does a submission to, was it Mystico or whoever the hell it was, uses an almost Darce choke to win his first match in the C2. That's Continental Classic because
Yes.
we can't say things. Gotta be cool. And this is the interesting thing. You go from a violent, bloody spectacle like that to actual professional wrestling Wednesday that was really enjoyable.
Yep.
And I just said AEW was really enjoyable Wednesday.
But you
and I
were
know
right.
I heard myself say it. But you open the show with Okada and Fletcher. Fantastic.
It's the same thing, though. They are capable of bringing two of these wrestlers together and having a great match. But then they have a handful of them that are just out there to get as injured as they can and do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And
Well, you have a classic match, Terry, that opens the show between Fletcher and Okada, and they're part of the Don Callis family. They're on the same team.
Mhm.
Kyle Fletcher wins, and Okada loses. But I say that to say this: later in the show, your main event figures Samoa Joe, Hook explains himself. His promo sucks. Thank God Hangman and Swerve interrupted him because it was bad.
Oh,
But
that was
then they hang two people with chains as part of the ops dojo, just two job guys, whatever, two wrestlers in training. So they hang them, and we get the bug eyes and the expression. All of a sudden. So all of a sudden, you have that bullshit back on TV after you just had a Japanese style, very classic wrestling match. Because I guess we want to have something for everybody. But Tony Khan does not know when enough violence is enough violence. It's a weeknight, Tony. This isn't a pay-per-view. This is a weeknight. And you got people choking out other wrestlers with chains. And by the way, one of those wrestlers is black. So you can go ahead and read into whatever you want when we're lynching people with chains on national television. So not a fan of that either, because you followed up violence with more violence for violence sake instead of actually moving the story. No promo, no explanation, just straight up violence.
And on the other channel, the next weekend, we have the Survivor Series, War Games, which is in itself, it has a history of violence on its own. And that was the whole point of War Games.
Yeah, but it's a joke now. There's no roof on the cage. There's no violence. There's no blood feud. This is something marked on the calendar, and somehow we have to manufacture and fabricate a story to get there. And AEW was guilty of it with Blood and Guts as well. But the difference being they went so far with all the violence in their matches and Blood and Guts and still escape the cage, because God forbid you stay inside a cage and honor what was the traditional reason for that. Now I sound like Palm Water Dave. Where'd he go? Let's yell at clouds together, Dave. Because the steel cage was the ultimate blow-off. And the only reason Dusty Rhodes created War Games was to get all the horsemen into War Games against his guys.
Right.
Magnum and the Road Warriors, pretty good team, along with Paul Ellering, to be able, so they couldn't run and they couldn't hide and they couldn't get away any longer. This, no roof, no violence, just straight out, and very, by the way, predictable, particularly after the women's match, which went, I guess, 42 minutes. The women's War Games match. So, Bober, nobody's going to argue that, honestly. Blood and Guts was definitely better than War Games.
But Survivor Series historically is built on, out of nowhere, we have these groups going against each other. So it's when it
was groups going against each other, it was fine, because the randomness made Survivor Series. There was nothing ever random about traditional War Games matches. It was the Horsemen against whoever they were feuding with at the time. And then when it was the Dangerous Alliance, it was Sting Squadron in '92 versus Ravishing Rick Rude and the crew. But they did not. I think they manufactured these way too much in WWE. And quite frankly, anybody that sits here and watches this show with us, because we're all hardcore wrestling fans, and we talk about this stuff every week, could have booked the men's War Game match in particular.
Yeah. I mean, from after the women's, which I'm actually rewatching right now, the women's War Games match, the rest of the show, predictable, boring, keep moving on.
I disagree with the boring part when Liv Morgan came out, but it was very obvious.
Okay. Again,
I did see
obvious. That. We called it. We knew there was no.
There's no reason for John Cena to leave San Diego with the Intercontinental title.
100%. We all agreed with that. We just didn't know who was going to help him, and it turns out everybody, literally, everybody,
and it worked.
It did.
Because Cena's not hurt by it, and Cena loves all the garbage wrestling. I mean, he loves all the interference and all that stuff. I will say this: Dominic Mysterio has no business throwing a 619 any more than the Young Bucks or Jey Uso have throwing a super kick Let's go ahead and quit that move now. Either he's too big and clumsy, or he just doesn't get it, because it is an awful trash ass move that he does.
I think
Absolutely.
He is
saw him
definitely
attempted-
different than his dad. I mean,
Yeah.
very
He
different.
attempted it 3 times, and I'm pretty sure after each one, Andrew and I were like, nope. Mm-mm.
That women's match was awful. Bober would like to fight tonight, Allison.
Bober can kiss me where the sun doesn't shine, because
Don't
You
offer
might
it
enjoy
up.
that. Yeah, I don't know if you want to offer that. Yeah. He's a man of a certain age, you know. I mean,
Similarly,
he's beyond middle-aged at this point, now that we're talking ageism. I mean, he's in
similar
the
to you
Lord.
saying that Cena would not walk away with the title, you knew Nikki Bella was also not going to.
Oh God, come on.
Yeah.
That match was so sad.
I
I'm
didn't.
sorry.
I mean, the whole Michael Cole and Stephanie's on maybe a path to be a Hall of Famer like Nikki Bella. I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
what's wrong with you?
Oh Lord. I mean, I said it before, I'll say it again. The women of WWE make me question my sexuality every day. I have nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, because goddamn, Stephanie Vaquer. Oh,
They do
Rhea
the
Ripley.
opposite for me, Allison. They solidify my sexual.
They solidify your sexual preference. Totally understand. Yes.
Get Allison talking about Stephanie and Rhea on the
Oh
same-
God. Well. Anyway, next. It's not. I don't have the air.
But I thought that the women's war game match actually was fine. It was pretty campy in a way, like you knew the trash can was coming into play. They had to play the Charlotte Rhea, will they, won't they? You know, even though I mean Charlotte looks more and more like Cher than she does Charlotte. Like every day it gets worse. It's not just the plastic surgery; it's the spray tan and everything else. But the women's match to me was fine. It was a decent opener. They're only going to allow so much though in WWE. They're not going to let them get crazy and violent and that sort of thing. And let's be honest, Rhea Ripley should have just dominated everybody in War Games, because that's kind of the thing that she does.
Yeah.
And they did it right with Brock Lesnar. But I said this 10 days ago when we found out Lesnar was in War Games. I said, well, that's easy. They're going to get everybody in the ring. Here he comes to the ring. He's going to suplex everybody, you know, and here comes Roman. And that's exactly what happened. And that's what I'm saying. All of us that all of our audience that watch and listen to the show, which we appreciate, the three of us could have booked that men's match. Could have booked that men's match. And Cody tipping his hand by having to climb over the top of the cage to get into the ring, and then having the guy in black in a War Games match created by his father with the idea of being able to keep everybody out but the participants ends with a interference from some guy dressed in all black who hit a curb stomp and allowed Braun Breaker to hit the super spear for the win.
So
a pin on CM Punk, by the way, which I did like that touch, because I told y'all that Jimmy Uso was in the match to take the pin. But and that's the other thing. War Games ends by submit or surrender. It does not end by pinfall. So that's also a trash thing that WWE has done. But it's because they want the pop. They want the big ovation at the end of it, or the shock or whatever. They don't want to see somebody trying to give up and then the crowd saying, well, did he or didn't he? You know, they want the definitive answer. Even Bruce Pritchard said that. They want a conclusion. They don't want to guess whether it was or it wasn't.
To your point, though, where we could have booked this, I am not happy about the Man in Black. To your point about War Games, it's 5-on-5. We have teams. Like, it's like bringing in an extra person to go grab the belt in the Money in, or go grab the suitcase in the Money in the Bank. No, there's only, like, to me that cheapened the entire match. So I was just like, well, why'd you even have a match if you're gonna have somebody come in and just do that. Like
Here's the question. We don't know what the storytelling is. And Bober's putting, can we talk about the return of Austin Theory? Because that's who people believe that was. They could Dark Scorpion this. Somebody mentioned on Wade's show, Wade Keller, and said, they could Dark Scorpion or Black Scorpion this and have it be Austin Theory and the big reveal be it's Seth Rollins, because Seth is hurt right now. Yeah. They could have it be Seth Rollins by never showing you who's under the mask,
Yeah.
Right.
He said, but there's not necessarily any reason to do that. Bober, I saw the same thing, that it's Austin Theory. I couldn't tell who it was, honestly, by the outfit and the camera. I mean, obviously it's someone jacked, somebody who's in good shape, somebody who can do a curve.
Though. That's what threw me. It was somebody
the camera made him look like he's tall, correct. But like the spear on Punk was the story. But here's the thing. You've got Lesnar, McIntyre, Bronson, Breaker, and Logan Paul, and you need a sixth guy to win this?
Thank you.
And the thing is, I get it, Super Cody, and it's Saudi Phil, and it's Jey Uso, yeet, and Roman. But Roman was the neutralizer of Brock Lesnar, and then he got taken out. And
but
Roman
aren't the bastard heels supposed to be not good enough to beat the faces, and they need
but
to choose?
Not when the women on the face side won the match to start the show.
Okay.
And that's the problem with having two of these matches, is they often dictate what's going to happen in the second match. Because you're not going to have both babyface teams win.
Well, I didn't mean having the face team win. I meant the whole introduction of the Man in Black.
But the problem is, Terry, Brock Lesnar is a certified badass. You've made Braun Breaker a certified badass. It says so on his uniform or his wrestling attire. Bronson Reed is a certified badass. And then you add Drew McIntyre to that, who beat the shit out of Cody. He's got a swollen face. And then, of course, Logan Paul. And I get that part. But I don't know why you would need them, because, quite frankly, senior citizen Saudi Phil sucks. Not great. I can't stand him. I like his wife a lot better than him. Glad she got the submission over Becky. But that was obvious, too. You weren't going to have her lose in the War Games match. So anyway, I don't know. I like the idea of Roman going after Cody again, and I think they're out of ideas with Cody. I genuinely think they're out of ideas with Cody. So Roman basically telling him at the end of the match, we're not teaming ever again, and just eye-fucking him, for the lack of a better way to say it. I mean, he's just staring a hole through him. And I personally think that Roman is a far better champion than Cody. And Cody, like his father, is best suited in the chase. Not as the champ. Even if they want to call him QB1. I don't buy into that nonsense. Dusty was a much better person chasing the title than he was with the title.
But the chase really normally, at least back then, worked because, especially when the NWA champion would tour around and stuff.
Yeah.
Your hero was about to beat him, and those bastards came up with some cheating to beat your guy.
And stole it from him. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Pondwater, tell us all about the times Kerry Von Erich failed to win the World Cup. Wait a minute. You can see that on Amy and Pondwater and Amy Talk Wrestling on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Whatever day they're happen to watch. Did I get the show wrong again?
No.
You got all the. I think the words.
You got all the words are right.
A little bit.
All the words were in there.
If you put that in Google, it'll put them.
And Amy Talk Wrestling, whatever it is, we watch it every week. It doesn't matter if I'm there, so I don't need to know the name of it. But final thoughts on this War Games. Much a disappointment. 4-match card, and the best match on the card potentially was Dom and Cena because of the story they get to tell.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of open-ended with that, but we don't have enough time for Dave to tell these stories. Yeah, that's true. That's why he has his own show.
Well, we also have a lot of football to talk about, so let's
I
dive
kinda
into
figured.
Week 14.
I'm gonna sit back now and just enjoy what you guys talk about.
Let me
Loosen
run
up.
through some of these rivalry games, and we've got several other ones that we detailed. Ole Miss wins the Egg Bowl 38-19 with Lane
Th-
Kiffin leading the way.
Egg Bowl.
Arizona whips
The worst
Arizona
bowl.
State 23-7. That one I was kind of surprised Arizona put it on Arizona State that way.
Yeah, but Arizona State's quarterback was out for the season.
Oh.
Okay. Texas Tech 49-0 over West Virginia.
Rich
I don't know if
Rod's
that's
going
a
to have to do
rivalry
some.
or not. It just happened
He's
to be
going
the
to have to do
last
some
week.
serious recruiting, and it should be West Virginia versus Pitt. Shout out Bober, the backyard brawl. That is the last game of the year. It is not Texas Tech versus West Virginia.
Yeah, this
If
was
you
on.
can have Miami play Florida, and you can have Georgia Tech play Georgia, and you can have Clemson play South Carolina, you can have West Virginia play Pittsburgh. Because that's tradition, and that's how it should be.
So Oregon beats Washington 26-14 on the road. Virginia Tech 27-7 over Virginia. Tulane, I just put them in here because they're headed to their conference title game, and they're one of the top group of 5 teams, and their coach is not going to be there next year. And then Louisville blanks Kentucky 41-0. Kentucky had looked good for a few weeks, but Louisville wasn't buying into it.
No, and the ACC is the chaos, which we're going to get to, other than all this coaching nonsense. But yeah, the fact that Virginia Tech actually got it done against Virginia, because they were not doing anything last night early in the game. It was 7-0. And the Iron Bowl was on at the same time.
Mhm.
So I watched the Iron Bowl, of course. God bless Terry.
We'll get there.
You have it. I thought you had it wrong, but I wanted to double check. Virginia beat Virginia Tech.
Oh, did I get that back?
As I'm talking, I thought I got it. Yeah, Virginia beat Virginia Tech.
See, I got too much
27-7.
stuff to do sometimes.
Yeah. So anyway, as I was talking, I was like, wait a minute, they didn't win. SMU loses to Cal. After Cal builds a huge lead, SMU comes back. And you might have that on the slide. My point is that's for the ACC. That's for the ACC. And now somehow Duke slid into it, which we're going to preview here in a minute. But anyway, Tulane has no coach. Well, he might coach the rest of the year. But to your point, the most shocking thing on this list is that Kentucky got goose egged by Louisville.
That's not good.
Yes, I mean Kentucky had been looking good for 2 or 3 weeks. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Fell apart
Well,
in the rivalry game.
They had been looking good, and then it happened. I can't wait for Duke to make the playoff by beating Virginia. It's going to be fantastic. Chaos. Oh, ha, ha.
Well, let's talk about the game.
Is Darren
Oh.
Staley still here? Now, I'm going to concede something, Terry, before we
Okay.
start talking about this game. I said 3 touchdowns.
Yes, you did.
Technically, 18 points would be 3 touchdowns, but I don't play that game. I was wrong. It was not 21 points.
You
It
meant
was
with the
only
extra
18.
points, yeah.
Yeah, it was only 18. And Ohio State put it on Michigan in the big house, in the snow, in front of everybody. But I have thoughts on this Ohio State game based on they're playing in Indianapolis next week against Cigarette Signetti. So good for Ohio State. Made the adjustments, ate up Michigan's defense, slowed down the pass rush. You know how you do that? With a quick release. Julian Sayen's quick release stopped Michigan's edge rushers from being able to affect the game in the way they were really hoping to. 419 total yards against a Michigan defense in the big house is embarrassing. And Michigan, overrated, as we suspected, 15 in the country, got a lot of work to do in the offseason, and they have the wrong guy as the head coach of the team.
Oh. Put him on
Sharon
one of the
Moore,
lists.
Sharon Moore is a mercy hire because of Jim Harbaugh. And just like what they did at Ole Miss today, where they just hired the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Sharon Moore was just the guy that was available immediately. And he is not the right guy. Michigan's not going back to prominence in all their national championships they claimed before the First World War and all that. Ohio State got their revenge.
Mhm.
And
It was bound to happen. I mean, Ohio
if you had-
State.
if you had listened to the show, we're pretty fair with the coverage of the teams because I fucking hate Ohio State,
Right.
but they're the best team in the country until somebody beats them.
Right.
Stupid Ohio.
And Underwood just couldn't do anything. 63 yards passing, no touchdowns, interception, 9 of 21.
Well, and he had to run, but the problem is like they get deep into territory. This is 3 field goals. And what
Yeah.
in the world was Michigan's guy thinking when he headbutts the referee?
Oh,
And didn't get thrown out of the game.
didn't
either,
get
by the
thrown
way.
out.
that's
You
crazy.
know,
And there's people on the internet defending that
Mm-mm.
like it wasn't that bad. I was like, no, he was looking right at the guy, arguing with him, lowered his helmet into the guy's face.
yeah. There was no cause for that at all. He should have been thrown out of the game. And I don't defend the refereeing, but that was bullshit right there. And then,
Yeah.
of course, at the end of the game, Sharon Moore gets told by Ryan Day, "Get your guys off the field. We're not gonna plant the flag and all that stuff." And classy move, I guess, by Ohio State. They go 12-0. They're headed to Indianapolis, probably to face the best football team in the country, or at least the most complete one. So
That's right. We'll get to that in a little bit later. But before that, sorry, Andrew, we're going to talk about this one.
it's fine. So the way that you stop a mobile quarterback is you successfully blitz him, and then you hurt him. Not blaming Iowa for hurting him, but he hurt his knee, tweaked his knee. Johnson, 217 yards in a one-dimensional game.
Yeah.
Lateef couldn't hit the broadside of a barn Friday. Obviously, 9 for 24. 9 for 24 is not good. But Iowa did what they do. They are the ultimate gatekeeper of the Big Ten. If you want to be an elite team in the Big Ten, you have to beat Iowa. Now, that's not to say Iowa's going to win 10 games a year. They're going to win 8, and they're content winning 8, and then they're going to go for a bowl game to win 9.
But they
But-
are pretty much consistently that line, like you
Yeah.
said.
7-5, 8-4, 9-3 on the best seasons they have. That's
Right.
what Iowa's going to give you. But if you want to be a team that's elite in the Big Ten, you have to find a way to beat Iowa. They're the measuring stick. Anybody that can't beat Iowa is below the Ohio State, the Oregons, the Indianas of the world. That is who you're playing against, and Iowa's the ultimate measuring stick. And Nebraska fell to 1-10 against Iowa. Gets beat by 24 at home. Distracted 2 days before this game. Will Dylan Raiola transfer or not? Who gives a shit? If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. You know, apparently his father, deeply involved in the talks, Dominic Raiola, whose name is in the Ring of Honor in Nebraska for being a amazing center for the team. Won a couple of Big 12 championships, national championship, etc. But apparently he's the straw that stirs the drink in this whole thing. And he didn't like how his son was being talked about after Lateef came into UCLA and wins the game there. Well, this is my thing. Matt Rule, and Coach Keith ain't here to hear me say this, but Matt Rule is nothing more than a snake oil salesman. He's not a coaching coach. He loves to find the camera. He loves the sound bites. He loves to hear his own voice. But when it comes to X's and O's and making adjustments, this guy sucks. So if Darren Staley's still here, Nebraska gave up 8 sacks against Michigan. Rather than pull Raiola and put in the mobile quarterback, and stop blitzing defensive ends with a guy that could beat you on a quarterback draw, the same way that Arch Manning beat Texas A&M. We leave Raiola in to play like the Statue of Liberty. So the take away from this season, and then we'll move on because Terry's got good news for his own team, is that this is an utter disappointment. Nebraska should have won 9 games this year. They should have beat Michigan, should have beat USC. Didn't have the game plan to beat Michigan and gave up 8 sacks. You're not going to win football games that way. With USC, you're so shocked your starting quarterback goes out. You decide to have a guy kick a 52-yard field goal he ain't ever kicked, and it completely changed the trajectory of the game because you just said you don't trust the backup quarterback to run the offense, who you had no plan for, and clearly he had no snaps at practice with the first team. Absolutely, fundamentally a mistake. Nebraska's defense finished 21 in the country. Number 21, believe it or not. But their rushing defense is absolute garbage. And so they have to fix that too. But the reason I say that this year was a disappointment, Terry, they go to Oregon next year.
Yep.
They have and host both Ohio State and Indiana in Lincoln.
Ooh.
There's 3 losses automatically. And if they play like this, they did this year, that's 3 big losses that they're going to have automatically. So the reason I say this year was disappointment, you had a favorable schedule where they could have slid in between the 10 and 12 spots in the playoff if everything had fallen their way. And instead, they're 7-5. They're going to get a decent bowl game because they sell tickets. But they're not going to get a January 1 bowl game.
Right.
And they don't deserve one. And you have a head coach who would rather host a fucking podcast than figure out how to stop the leaks in the dike. Rather than stop it from happening again and again, he'd rather talk to you on his House Rules show about whatever he wants to talk about. And for me, that's a problem. He's a fucking media personality. He's not a head coach. No X's, no O's. He's got no business being the guy with the headset on calling the plays. And he is as much at fault as these players are for losing these football games.
So Iowa wins 40-16. And like you said, next game we see with Nebraska will be a bowl game. Not sure where. I don't know. Might be Music City. Might be close to me.
Probably be, I would guess it would be after Christmas, but before the 31st.
Right. Sorry. I just read a comment.
I'll put it up because I'm not going to read it. I'm just putting it up. A little bit of fun for our viewers who watch us.
Yikes. A little bonus action there. All right.
That's
So
right.
the next one,
Ooh.
Florida State and Florida. Florida wins. Coachless Florida wins 40-21, but Florida State's hanging on to their coach for dear life.
For whatever reason. And again,
For some reason, and the fans are hating it.
Again, if you listen to this show, I said it, Terry said it. Florida plays a physical style of football. They've got a very good front 7 and defensive line. Lagway is inconsistent. But that defensive line and that front 7 and the linebackers apparently showed up, Terry, because Florida State gave up 7 sacks Saturday.
Woo.
And this was a runaway in the swamp. 40-21. Physically, Florida dominates this game. And Florida State, and I can say this because I know the guy, the defensive coordinator at Florida State, Nebraska, former defensive coordinator, Tony White, does not make adjustments, and the 3-3-5 defense does not work against physical football teams that can run the ball.
Yeah.
Ball had 266 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, and that is a physical Florida football team. You made the mistake of thinking, oh, well, they're 3-8. They're not going to beat anybody. Well, they're 4-8 now, and you guys both aren't going bowling this year. Neither team made a bowl game this year.
Oh,
Florida,
we'll see the impact of some of these things when we look at championship games because some of them are going to blow you away.
Yeah, neither one of these made it, but Florida, a 3-8 Florida team, and yes, daggum, he is rolling in his grave, Bober. 3-8 Florida made Florida State look stupid. And this is the Florida State team that is hanging their hat on the fact they beat Alabama in game 1.
That's right. But hey, I
Al-
told you, Gus knows how to beat Alabama somehow, but not really anybody else.
Well, and that's, now the question is, do they keep Tony White? Do they keep Gus Malzahn? Because they've decided they're keeping Mike Norvell for whatever reason. I don't know. But you can have the lofty expectations in Tallahassee. You have the wrong guy at the head of your program. And you let the right guy go to Texas A&M about 8 years ago.
No.
So,
Might
and
be
Florida
incompetent.
has a new football coach as of today.
They do.
We'll get
to
there.
that later. There's a domino effect today. So Georgia and Georgia Tech, not a lot going on in this game. Georgia walks away with the win because they were able to score a touchdown.
That usually helps.
A lot of defense. I mean, this was a great physical football game, but neither offense executed well at all. Georgia wins because of the physicality they bring to the football game.
Yeah.
And that's why they won, really. They won because of the physicality in the football game. They didn't win for any other reason, Terry. But, I mean, Georgia Tech is a legit football team. They're just not going to do anything except maybe a New Year's Bowl game this year.
That's unfortunate. When some of the big name teams in the ACC are down, it would have been nice to see Georgia Tech in that championship game, but not this year.
Not this year.
Not happening.
All right. Another now we go into the SEC. We got Vanderbilt goes to Knoxville, wins 45-24, 579 total yards of offense for Vanderbilt. Pavia with 433 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns, and he threw in 2 interceptions.
Terry, I know I've said this twice already, but if you
And his
listen
brother
to
got
TNA,
arrested.
if you listen to TNA Top 10, there were a couple of guys that said Vanderbilt had more than a punching chance at the Rocky Top this past weekend. And one of them saw Vandy in person and took an L to Vanderbilt. And the other one, that'd be me, has just been enthralled with the offensive line play of Vanderbilt.
Right.
But you know what was as good for them yesterday as their offensive line play was the way their defense confused Tennessee's Aguilar, and the blitz packaging from a corner blitz, a safety blitz, an overload. They were in his face the entire game. And he could not get comfortable enough to execute the offense. And Vanderbilt wins a football game. And they win by 21 points at the Rocky Top.
That's a big deal because Tennessee has been such a better program than Vanderbilt forever.
Well, and let's face it, Terry, it's the Rocky Top. Alabama don't go into the Rocky Top and dominate Tennessee.
Right.
For the rivalry game. And all of a sudden, here's Vandy. And good for them. They're not going to get into the playoff more than likely, but good for them.
Yeah, I think there's too many teams in the way. It's unfortunate, but hey, we might get a Heisman, right?
They might. I think Mendoza out of Indiana is probably.
I think that's the leader. I also think, unless Love wins it, we're going to see that running back streak snapped for the years that end in 5.
Oh.
I think Love's second place probably from what I've seen behind Mendoza.
Yeah, I think they're flip-flop depending on who you ask. Well, Vandy is also a prime example, Dave, of them getting rid of transfer rules working as well, because you used to have to sit out a year before you could participate in the next year's football, and that is no longer the case. You can automatically transfer to whatever team you want once the portal opens. And Diego transferred to Vanderbilt because he was not offered by anybody else, as he said, Terry, and he played with a chip on his shoulder, and Vanderbilt won a lot of football games because of it. And
Well-
if you're talking Heisman, most important guy on the football team, best player in the country who had the biggest impact on the success of his football team, Diego Pavia belongs in the conversation.
I'll say this: Auburn doesn't play Vanderbilt for a few years now. Now that they've played them a couple of years in a row, so I hope they keep being good until about the time we play them again.
Makes sense. Sounds
Because
about
Terry's
right.
a realist and he knows about
Yes.
Auburn.
Agreed.
Next game, undefeated team goes down.
Oh, yeah.
Texas wins 27-17 against A&M. Reed threw a couple of fourth quarter interceptions. Arch is looking better. You know, he started the season shaky after everybody had just chiseled his name into the Heisman, but he's played pretty well lately. And Texas wins 27-17.
Let's talk X's and O's, boys and girls. Blitzing, aggressive defenses, the way you stop them. There are three options. Number one is a quick release on your throws. Number two is a screen. Number three is a quarterback draw.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, Mike Elko decided not to spy Arch Manning, who has far better legs than either of his uncles in terms of his running game. And he ran in the touchdown that put the nail in the coffin. And Elko, as good as he is defensively, did not adhere to defensive principles against those teams. And on Sarkisian's part, he saw they weren't spying Arch Manning. You've got to have a mobile defensive back against somebody like that. The same thing with Diego. If you're not spying Diego at Vandy, you're an idiot, because you have got to account for him as a live runner on every single play. And the same goes for Arch Manning. And for whatever reason, Elko did not spy him. And he didn't spy him when they went down 20-17, and then he puts the nail in the coffin with the 30 or 40-yard run or whatever it was for the touchdown. But that could have been prevented with a quarterback spy, because overly aggressive defenses get slowed down when you have a quarterback that can run. And Elko probably blitzed, if you looked at it statistically, Terry, they probably sent pressure 70% or more of the time that night.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, so A&M goes from sitting on top of the SEC to not going to the title game, which
but
Really?
probably being the 5th or 6th team in the country, and so
Wow.
they're going to get into the tournament.
right, which, you know, this brings into question even the purpose of the title games other than money.
Yep. Yeah, because at this point, who cares? But we'll get there when we talk about it.
And then there's this one, the Iron Bowl. Alabama wins 27-20. They went up 17-0 in the first half. Auburn storms back, ties it at 20, and then Alabama, with a ballsy call on fourth down, goes up by a touchdown in the fourth.
With
quarter.
3 minutes left in the game. And the three most hated words in all of college football are still Alabama wins again. There are a lot of Alabama fans, Terry, making a big deal about Kalen DeBoer's success at Alabama. Remember, these are still Nick Saban's recruits, so enjoy. Simpson did not look like Heisman Trophy Simpson last night.
Not the last 2 weeks.
Our counterparts on this channel, Mark Out Moments, the boys over there at Footballers. I was in the live chat, and Timmy C or Dave or maybe TJ, whichever one of them it was, no offense to either of the three of you because I don't remember, said, how is Alabama only favored by 6.5 points? Well, if you have listened to TNA Top 10 this week or this year, we told you how good the Auburn defense was. And that is why Alabama was only favored by 6.5. Not to mention this is a Jordan-Hare Stadium, and Alabama had such a letdown against Oklahoma. So when you take those three things into account, that is why it was a 6.5 point spread. The defense of Auburn needs to find an offense that can deliver, and maybe with your new head coach, you can.
Yeah, and Simmons, I was looking at season highs or season totals. Simmons, or the receiver, he's probably the third receiver for Auburn behind Coleman and Singleton. Maybe third, maybe even fourth coming into the last couple of weeks. But huge games the last 2 weeks. And I mean, he scored technically, scored 3 touchdowns, 3 big touchdowns. One of them got called back just because Auburn was lined up wrong, which really sucks, but it is the rule. Auburn 411 total yards, Alabama 280. So Auburn dominated them on the yardage, but had an interception, had a killer fumble at the end by Coleman. And one thing, and it's kind of what you were talking about a minute ago, how do you beat a team that is overly aggressive? And what Simpson was doing, he's good enough in the right moments to backpedal and throw the ball on a dart to get out of the way and make the pass. And he did it multiple times, and that's how they beat Auburn.
Yeah, because that front four never gave him room to breathe.
Right.
I mean, they were coming at will over and again. I see the button, Allison.
I'm just waiting.
But that front four of Auburn,
Whose will?
whose will absolutely imposed its will on the offensive line of Alabama.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, Auburn might have outplayed Alabama last night, but they didn't win the football game. And I cannot tell you the number of times I've seen that happen in college football. The team that played better doesn't always win.
And Hugh Freeze said it, but it's kind of on him. He said, we keep finding ways to lose. Well, that comes straight from him. And that's what the culture was this year at Auburn. And hopefully moving forward, we can take this tremendous amount of talent that's on the team already and do something good with it next year.
Yeah.
And just to read Super Day's comment, he said it wasn't him. He knew it was going to be tight.
That's what she said.
Thank you very much. I was waiting for that.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was over the front four, but go ahead.
Probably.
I thought it was something. I thought it was coming at will, but
Coming at will. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
that's why I said whose will. Anyway, I'm
Whose
moving
will?
on. 2 undefeated teams stand after Texas A&M loses. They are facing each other this weekend, or on the 5th, whatever day
Saturday.
that is,
Saturday.
Whatever day.
for the Big Ten championship. And Ohio State and Indiana are the only 2 unscathed teams this year as Texas A&M falls. And our top 10 for the week: number 10, Notre Dame at 10-2. Number 9, BYU at 11-1. 8, Oklahoma at 10-2. 7, Texas A&M at 11-1. 6, Texas Tech at 11-1. 5, Ole Miss at 11-1. 4, Oregon at 11-1. 3, Georgia at 11-1. And the top 2 are the undefeated teams. Indiana at number 2 at 12-0, and number 1, Ohio State, sits where they've been all year at 12-0, sitting on the top.
Interesting. Alabama doesn't make this list.
They were 11.
And Texas Tech, ladies and gentlemen, is not nearly as good a football team as Texas A&M, but that's okay.
Well, and I'll tell you what, if you look at the AP, I think we have Texas Tech lower than the AP has them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they won 49-0 against Rich Rod's West Virginia, where it's not Rich Rod's football team. So anyway, yeah, I mean, this list is fine. Notre Dame's going to skate on in, because they beat the teams they're supposed to beat. They beat them big. BYU has a chance to win the Big 12 championship Saturday. And they're playing Texas Tech. That may not mean, Terry, that both teams don't make the playoff.
Right.
But if because there are 12, not 10. So,
Well, we
which is always
also got to think about the fact that we've got the ACC. Their champion is not going to be.
a
They're
top
not
10 team.
listed here.
No, be
We've
Virginia
got
or Duke.
Tulane or North Texas or whoever that other Group of 5 champion is. So I don't know. We'll see how that shakes out. It's going to be real close on some of these. We're going to have big arguments over that.
Yeah, Bober says 3 one-loss teams in SEC, and yet Alabama is still in the championship game. Conferences need to have divisions. Well, the divisions went away, Bober, in 2023. Allison and I were at the last SEC championship game with divisions, and Georgia
That's because
lost.
Florida State's not in the SEC yet.
Yeah, that's also true. Because they are also a one-loss team in conference.
Yeah.
Now, interesting how they got to Georgia, Alabama, because Oklahoma did beat Alabama, and Georgia got beat by Alabama, and Ole Miss got beat by Georgia, and Texas A&M got beat by Texas, and Oklahoma got beat by Texas and I forget who. So anyway, yeah, a lot of fun there. But Ohio State, number 1 with the bullet. But I don't think they're the best football team in the country. And we'll get there when we preview the Big Ten championship game.
All right, give me a second. We're going to look at this. They lost to Texas and Ole Miss.
Texas and Ole Miss. Okay. Yeah, Ole Miss. And Ole Miss, by the way, well, we'll wait till the coaches thing. But
Oh, yeah. Little preview. Here's the impacts of this. So this morning we had a lot of dominoes fall, and this graphic, I had the idea, put the logo, put the new coach in front of it. The people in the South said, let's make this hard on him.
yeah.
So the domino effect, as I understand it, Lane Kiffin decided to go to LSU. The direct response from Ole Miss is that they promoted on a permanent basis their defensive coordinator, Pete Golding. When Kiffin was moving toward LSU, Florida starts going after Sumrall, and they get him. Auburn thought they had Sumrall locked up, but they had some issues. My understanding is that Auburn wanted him to keep DJ Durkin. He was not willing to say he would do that, so they moved on to Golish from South Florida, who Arkansas thought they had, but Auburn hires him. Then Arkansas responds by hiring Silverfield from Memphis. The other guys we have here, Virginia Tech hired Franklin a while ago.
Yeah, 14 days or so.
A couple of days ago, I think Colorado State made their hire, Jim Mora Jr. The Oregon State hire, I think, was announced yesterday. That guy was on the Alabama staff, but he was on the Washington staff and moved to Shepherd. He was on the Washington staff and moved to Alabama when they made that move. So he's back up at Oregon State as a head coach now. And then the latest news that we got that got on here, Colorado State hires Pat Fitzgerald.
Michigan State.
Michigan State. What did I say?
Colorado State.
Oh, okay.
But they're both green. But
Michigan State hires Pat Fitzgerald, the
Green.
former Northwestern coach. Too many things to keep up with.
Yeah. So a lot on the table here. Lane Kiffin reportedly wanted to coach Ole Miss in the playoffs, and Ole Miss's administration said no. Ole Miss's administration also had his defensive coordinator ready to replace him. Nobody will convince me that the administration will convince me otherwise, that the administration at Ole Miss is at fault for letting him go to Baton Rouge. But operator put me on through because me and Lane need to talk, so I'm calling Baton Rouge. Automatically, LSU has just upped their profile. This guy can recruit, he can coach, he calls plays, and he's going to be at a place with the facilities and the resources that they're going to give him. He will win. and win a lot of football games. I personally think LSU politically is a dumpster fire, but whatever it was, Lane Kiffin said, I want to be the head coach there. And you guys can all say it's $98 million. The man's got more money than he knows what to do with already. Sometimes it's not about money. It's about winning championships. And so LSU gives him a far better opportunity to do so. Additionally, at Ole Miss, they have set themselves back 5 decades. This is going to be absolutely awful. Lane Kiffin is the sexiest hire in this cycle, the biggest name, the guy who has all of the cred from being a Saban rehabilitation candidate forward. By the way, 55-19 in the SEC West with the likes of Nick Saban, having to play Georgia and Tennessee and Florida at Oxford, Mississippi. You put him in Baton Rouge, and they're going to win football games. They're 100% going to win football games at Louisiana State University again. They will compete for national championships at LSU again.
The only question I have, is it going to be the job he did at Ole Miss and on steroids at LSU because they can recruit better players and they have more resources, or does he still have some of USC Lane Kiffin in him? That's the question. Has he exercised those demons and become a different guy and he's just going to win? Or was Ole Miss just that perfect combination of things for him? I don't know.
I think Ole Miss needed him more than he needed Ole Miss. But the Ole Miss job was perfect for him because he was able to stay under the radar. Obviously, LSU is going to have a lot more attention. He's a far better coach than Brian Kelly ever thought about being. So,
Right.
And LSU, save for the 2019 team, has never been an offensively dominant football team since the Saban era. This is a team that runs the football and plays defense, and now you are hiring one of the most gifted offensive minds in all of college football, and he will be the play caller. Make no mistake about it. Lane Kiffin will be the play caller at LSU. I honestly thought he was going to stay at Ole Miss, but with all of the political nonsense, when your administration gives you an ultimatum that you have to make a decision, and here's the other thing, they're telling that to Lane Kiffin. Good luck. Good luck telling someone like Lane Kiffin that you have to do something.
Yeah, fly.
I saw some commentary on Facebook that I responded to about the poor kids, this, that, and the other. Well, maybe the administration should have thought about those poor kids because Ole Miss is absolutely fucking nothing without Lane Kiffin. 55-19, 5 10-win seasons because of Lane Kiffin. So you can all take that for what it's worth, but Lane Kiffin is the reason Ole Miss is going to the playoff.
Dave is not super excited about this move by
No.
Lane Kiffin. I think we can. He said he's shopping. Maybe was there a Black Friday deal? Maybe a Cyber Monday deal for a Lane Kiffin voodoo doll.
There you go.
If you're in the market to buy Dave Miller a Christmas gift, if you can find one, that would be a good one.
This is what he would like.
Yeah. But yeah, Lane Kiffin, sexiest coaching hire in the cycle. And let's talk about Alex Goulash.
Yeah, so I had to do a little quick research on him because I've been hearing for weeks that Auburn was going to hire Sumrall. But we do as we normally do, and we say, we'll hire you if you do this, this, and this. And the guy said, nope. So we had to move on to somebody else. Goulash, he was born in Moscow, Russia. When he was 7 years old, he moved to Brooklyn. From Brooklyn, he moved to Columbus, Ohio, I believe, somewhere in Ohio. Maybe it was Cleveland. I don't know. But he went to Ohio State. I don't think he was a football player there. He just attended Ohio State. Um, he he had a few jobs, as everybody does, but he ended up at Tennessee, offensive coordinator for Heupel. He was with him at Central Florida before that. Um, and he's had some very good offenses. And I think the combination, he comes in. Auburn has Deuce Knight, who, when he was given the ball against Mercer, I know, looked awesome. And he's got a lot of potential. He's got Cam Coleman. Simmons should be coming back. Keeping these guys will be huge. And this guy, from his track record, should know how to use these guys. And part of the deal was you're keeping DJ Durkin as defensive coordinator, and we've seen, you talked about it earlier, what DJ Durkin's defense can do. So this combination promises to be something good in 2026. Now, I am not for hiring a coach just because he can keep your guys for next year. I want to do good next year, but I don't want to fall off in 5 years just because we hired somebody that could keep the current roster. We got to be able to recruit. We'll see what happens. I don't know. He's going to have my support, and that's all I can say at this point.
I like the hire, and I like the hire for two reasons. Number one, proven track record at Tennessee. Awesome offensive coordinator with Heupel. Heupel, another like Lane Kiffin mind, just knows so much about offense and football schemes, how to break defenses down. And so Golesh is going to be very much the same way. From the standpoint of your hire, though, Terry, to your point, I think you guys went after an offensive-minded coach, knowing you were going to keep the DC because you had the players in place that formed the 7th best recruiting class in the country because of the offense that never delivered this year.
Right.
You guys never delivered at a 7th out of 135 classes level of offense. Even in the Iron Bowl where you had 400 yards, couldn't close them, couldn't put the touchdowns on the board. I know a little something about that. We'll go for it on 4th and goal, okay? Go for it, but make it. If you're going to go for it, you got to make it every once in a while. But in all seriousness, I think I don't know that it's always good to put parameters on coaches like you have to keep this coordinator. But maybe he and Golesh are going to get along very well because he sees that this guy knows defense. He can run the defense. I'll call the offense, and we'll see what we can do here.
Promises
so he's a good
to be
hire.
good. Yeah.
I think he's far less of a question mark hire. Obviously, James Franklin's a home run hire for Virginia Tech. I know Bober hates to hear me say that, but they haven't had a good coach since Frank Beamer. And Beamer was basically phoning it in there at the end, and he was still winning 9 games a year. I think the other really good hire is Oklahoma State. Hiring Eric Boyd. Allison called him a child in our group chat.
Oh, yes.
Well, he doesn't have a beard.
No beard. He looks like he's 12.
But this guy, you talk about offensive firepower, and that's what Oklahoma State has always been known for. They go ahead and pick right up where the mullet left off. And sometimes you've got to move on, and in the case of Lane Kiffin, I don't think Ole Miss was going to give him what he needed to win a national championship. LSU will. Auburn will more than likely give Golesh 3 years to do something.
Yeah.
And Summerall is getting a ton of heat already in Florida.
Yeah.
Because he's not a sexy hire.
Well, that's the difference. Because they're used to
team.
sexy hires, though.
This is the same team that hired Urban Meyer from Utah. Meyer went 12-0 with Alex Smith in 2005, and they win his national championship in 2006. Yeah. But Urban Meyer came from Bowling Green to Utah and used his ability as a special teams coordinator as head coach to win football games. And he had the best quarterback in the country that year. But people forget that. But Urban Meyer was not a sexy head coach. Or was he? Because he walked right into Florida, took advantage of all the talent he had, and the criminals included, and they won 2 national championships. So, but the people in Florida are ready to rebel, kind of like the people in Arkansas. Now, Bobby Petrino's not getting a third chance as the head coach of Arkansas.
They didn't hire Gus Malzahn either.
Which I found very interesting that Petrino didn't get the chance. And there was a lot of talk about Malzahn being in the coaching conversations, but I don't think people believe in Gus anymore, Terry.
I don't think I believe in Gus anymore. I mean, and we've talked about his strengths and his weaknesses. He didn't have any losing seasons at Auburn, but the offensive line recruiting really was affected. His style of offense did not help the defense practice. You know, Nick Saban's talked about that. So those factors, I think people are shying away from, at least at the big time level, shying away from hiring Gus Malzahn at this point. It's kind of passed him by.
Yeah. And I think people have probably figured him out. And if they have figured out what he's going to do, because his MO is the same, we're going to do a lot of RPO. I'm going to have a big mobile quarterback, and that's what I'm going to do.
But what I liked about Gus, we ran the football
Yep.
a tremendous amount. 70% of our plays were running plays.
Mm-hmm. And that's how you win football games. You control the clock and the line of scrimmage. So, like I said, we'll see what Golish does. I don't know if any of these other ones. Pat Fitzgerald got fired from Northwestern as one of the longest tenured coaches in the Big Ten out of a scandal, and all of a sudden he's going to be at a Michigan State.
Right.
Interesting.
I think Franklin's going to have a great opportunity at Virginia Tech to do some good stuff in the ACC.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about Florida State earlier. As long as they're on the Norvell, as long as they're buying whatever Norvell's selling, they're losing football games. He is not the coach for Florida State, and their expectations are too high. And I can say that wearing this hat. Their expectations are too high for the coach that they have in place. Matt Rule is not going to get it done. 5-7, 6-6, 7-5. Something I didn't say earlier. He lost a lot of games he should have won, and he is 2-10 in 3 years in the month of November. 2-10. Can't win football games that way. And Mike Bober, you are correct. They did fire the longtime defensive coach for Alabama. What was his name? Over the massage. I forget his name.
Oh, my goodness.
If he hadn't have said it, I would have
Yeah.
been able to rattle it off. But anyway, he blew that opportunity. And then, of course, they bring in the Oregon State coach, give him 2 years, Jonathan Smith, and he didn't do anything. So
here's the new coaches. At the moment, here's the jobs that have been vacated either by firing or somebody leaves. I'm sure there's more already.
Mel
since we
Tucker,
started
by
the
the
show.
way. I
Mel
knew it would
Tucker,
come.
that's
Mel
right.
Tucker.
So on the West Coast, we got Cal. They fired their coach yesterday. UCLA fired their coach a while back. Penn
Cal,
State's
after,
still-
by the way, or I think it was before they beat SMU.
Oh, they got better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Penn State still hasn't hired anybody. Coastal Carolina today fired their coach. North Texas, their guy left for Oklahoma State. Memphis's guy left for Arkansas. UAB fired Trent Dilfer a while ago. I still haven't seen any kind of hire there. And my Tulane logo sucks. I need to get a better one here. But that's Tulane. Their guy went to Florida.
And Penn State is probably the, quote, sexiest job left, but who wants to go to Penn State when you fired a 10-win coach?
Nope.
Unless they poach somebody, they're not going to find who they're looking for.
So what's the most ideal job? I mean, you got to say Penn State because there's the most money here. right? Because the competition, I mean, UCLA is not going to pay as much as Penn State.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Oh, are you saying what's the best job left?
yeah, what's the best job out of these, you think?
Probably Penn State.
Well, I
But
mean,
you're going to have the
I guess what I'm
highest
saying is, what's the most
expectations in the
favorable job for being successful? Let me say it that way.
favorable job for being successful?
Yes,
Memphis.
that may
Okay.
be true. Yeah.
Memphis. But yeah, Penn State, you're going to be in the pressure cooker. And you said it before we came on tonight, Terry, and we'll move on to the main event. They'll probably hire a professional football coach.
That's what, yeah, they
Out of the
kind of are
NFL.
that. Yeah. One
Yeah.
more thing before we move on to the main event. We've
Oh,
got
yeah.
championship week coming up. Sun Belt has Troy against James Madison. The MAC has Miami versus Western Michigan. The American Conference has North Texas and Tulane. Conference USA, Kennesaw State had 2 wins last year, and they could win their conference this year against Jacksonville State. Mountain West has Boise against UNLV. That should be a pretty good game. ACC is Duke versus Virginia. How about that? Big 12, Texas Tech and BYU. SEC, Georgia and Alabama. And the Big 10, as we talked about, Ohio State and Indiana.
I don't care about Troy versus James Madison. Go James Madison. Miami of Ohio. Shout out to my man, Frank Solich, the former head coach there and of Nebraska. He's not there anymore, but Miami of Ohio is going to beat Western Michigan. North Texas over Tulane, Terry. Give me Jacksonville State. I'll take UNLV, coached by Dan Mullen over Boise Blue. Virginia gets upset by Duke's defense. That's where I'm at on that one. Texas Tech. Too much offense for BYU. They beat them one time. They'll beat them a second time. BYU is still a very good football team. Give me Georgia to finally exercise the demon that is Alabama. And Indiana, by a field goal, wins the
Wow.
Big Ten championship in
Wow,
Indianapolis
really?
and Ohio State. And
All
this is
right.
why. They have the number 1 scoring offense in the country, the number 2 scoring defense in the country. They are a complete team. They are coached by a man who was an early Saban assistant at Alabama. And do either of you know what his job was as the assistant in Alabama?
No.
Recruiting coordinator and wide receivers coach.
Okay.
The reason he coaches so well is he's the guy that recruits the players to the team and can communicate what he wants with them. Mendoza is on a hot streak as a quarterback. They haven't played at Ohio State the level of competition they have at Indiana. Indiana beat Oregon in Eugene by 10, and Oregon is a very good football team. I think Kurt Signetti, as much as it pains me to say it, is probably the best X's and O's football coach in the United States, in the NCAA. And he is going against a very good X's and O's football coach with the number 1 defense in the country. But I think Indiana in Indianapolis gets it done, and it's a field goal game.
I'll take Ohio State there. I'll take Georgia. Give me BYU upsetting Texas Tech. And Virginia winning the ACC.
Well, we'll see, because I'm number 1 on the pick'ems.
Oh, I was
I
waiting to
actually
see how
remember
long
that
that was going to
now.
take.
Number 1.
I'll
Alex
eventually show the
apparently has
results
dropped
on
off-
here.
Alex dropped off the planet, and then
I hope
I'm
he's
I
okay.
beat
We
her.
need to check in with him.
yeah,
Third.
I beat your stupid computer too. But yeah,
Well, the
Alex
computer-
Wheaton, where are you? Message us. Make sure you're all right.
Well, the
haven't-
computer picked Texas over Texas A&M. I'll tell you that much.
Well,
But the computer is very preseason in its picks. I will
Yeah.
just say that. Very.
yeah. Yeah, but again, I said I had a shocker for y'all. I am definitely picking Indiana over Ohio State.
All right.
That being said,
Oh,
let's
although
go to the main event.
both teams will be in the playoffs. So go ahead.
That's okay.
Well, they will. The main event, though, is me as the Penguin. What the hell? What the hell?
I
The
really
main event. Let's wrap up the villain series with the movie franchise villains.
I'm hot as poison ivy. I'll take it.
The red hair, but
Yeah.
so I told it to give you the pigtails there.
You know I love the pigtails, so that's
Oh, yeah.
perfect.
But I am more of the Joker than I am Penguin.
Mm. You're definitely
good-
more of the sarcastic. Yeah.
When you're good at
Yeah.
something, never do it for free.
hmm I'm excited for this. Andrew's gonna yell some more.
Probably.
Because there's gonna be a lot, I think, on here that we've seen already.
Yeah, a lot.
But
There's a category that found its way here that has not shown up anywhere else, and it
Mhm.
made it interesting.
okay.
We also have some inconsistency between
Mm.
lists where people
Yeah.
where villains have swapped order. And it's like
Ooh.
you put them above them on this list. Now it's swapped.
Oh, now I'm excited. I'm excited. All right. Who didn't make the list?
Just missed the list. We've got Chucky, Pennywise, Shredder,
Yeah.
and Skeletor. Now,
So I love
mean-
Chucky, Pennywise, Shredder. Man, the Ninja Turtles. I was just talking to John Smith about the Ninja Turtles today.
Hi, John. I missed you.
yeah. I that 1990 Ninja Turtles, I wore that video cassette out and had to get a new one. Mom, Dad, Mom. But Skeletor, when I was thinking Skeletor, I was thinking Masters of the Universe Skeletor. Like, not
Yeah,
this guy.
not
I'm
this
thinking
Skeletor.
cartoon Skeletor, you know?
I grabbed the wrong picture. Okay.
It's all
no,
good.
it's okay. But Pennywise, apparently, this Welcome to Deary is very good.
Derry.
I haven't watched it yet. Haven't watched. What is it?
Welcome to Derry.
Deary, Dreary, whatever. I don't give a shit. The name of the
It's
town
how
in
they
Indiana
say
doesn't
it.
matter
It's how they
Any
say it
more
with the
than-
New England accent.
any more than Bloomington,
Eh.
home of IU, as some people call it. I just call them Indiana. But anyway, Terry, how did Chucky not make the list if you're voting for Chucky? Because we know that you like Chucky.
I like Chucky, but there was some good. I mean, we threw a lot of good
Yep.
villains on this list.
Shredder, I mean, I like Shredder in a franchise sense, but I mean, the problem is, how many options did we originally start with? 80? Isn't that what we said?
Something like that.
Somewhere around there.
So
There's
then
just too
trying to
many
tear that
better.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think I put 20. I ranked 20. I really believe I ranked 20.
I have my
And
list.
all of these made the top 20, but not all of them made my top 10.
Okay.
I don't think any of them did, actually.
I ranked 15. And Pennywise is the only one that made my list.
Yeah,
think I put
Pennywise
12.
made my list higher than the other horror villains, but I don't want to
Mhm.
ruin the discussion, so we'll see.
All right.
Number 10.
Let's go.
No,
Freddy
there he
Krueger.
is.
Whoa,
Freddy.
And
okay.
I spelled it right here because I had spelled it IE in the poll.
Oh, yeah. So full disclosure, these movies as a child I could not watch.
Scary.
Scared the bejesus out of me.
Same here.
Yeah.
And I had an older brother, 6 years older than me, that was watching that stuff, and I would just kind of hang around.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Mm-mm.
really care about horror movies. So Freddy never really did anything for me. And then when they went to the really obscenely stupid, like Freddy versus Jason and all that, not interested.
Well, I think as a villain, though, the fact that I was that scared of him, like I couldn't sing. They had a song, 1, 2,
Oh,
Freddy's
yeah.
coming for you.
Right.
Okay, like I was so scared that I was like, no, you can't sing that because he'll come. Like that's to me, this is a good villain. That's what makes
Well,
a good
and
villain.
Freddy and Freddy, you know, in what was I gonna say? Invading your dreams or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
That was a good
it's
storyline. Yeah.
a good
Yes.
storyline for sure. Yeah. So, but well, I guess better than Jason and Michael. But anyway, Terry, number 9.
Number 9, Jason.
Jason, here he is.
People love the
This is
hockey
so
match.
funny because I just
Did we not do Halloween villains? Or maybe we just did Halloween
We
movies?
did movies last
Yeah.
year for Halloween.
Halloween movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Jason is Jason. I mean, Jamie Lee should have run out the damn. No, that was Michael.
no, that's Michael.
What's Jason again? Is he the one that
Jason is
got
the one
killed?
with where it's actually his mom, right?
Well, he got killed at the camp, didn't he?
Yeah. And then his
Yeah.
mom is the one. Isn't that right? Am I saying that
I
right?
think so.
It has been
It's
so
forever,
long
yeah.
since I have
I'm
seen
pretty sure it's the mom, and nobody knows that till
any of these.
the
Yeah.
second.
But anyway,
He
another
drowned
horror-
at Camp Crystal Lake as a
That's
child
right.
due to negligent camp counselors.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then years later, his mother, Pamela Voorhees, seeking
There you go.
revenge for his death, was killed by a survivor of a new killing spree.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Number 8.
Jason.
Scar.
Hell yeah. This was on
My
my list.
goodness.
Sure.
Scar,
I mean-
Scar's in one Lion King movie, but that's okay. I mean, he was James Earl Jones, and he did
Well,
have.
so
I'm
But it was
surrounded by-
movie franchise villains. He
yeah,
didn't
that
have
was the
to-
only way. That was the only way we were going to be able to make enough choices.
Yeah, we didn't say they had to be in every one.
Yeah.
But again,
All right.
kills his
All right,
own brother.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, all right. Kills his own brother. Lies to
Yeah.
his nephew.
Yeah. Tries
Steals
to
the
steal
crown.
the wife. Yeah.
He's got that tactic of I'm going to tell you every secret about how I did this before I kill you.
Correct. I love that. That's a good villain.
And he's got that voice.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons. So good.
Oh, that's right. It was Jeremy Irons. Why did it was James Earl Jones was Mufasa? That's
Mufasa,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Number 7. Michael Myers.
What the hell? What is
Yeah.
this trend? What am I missing
We
here?
have been
You keep-
invaded by horror films.
I mean, now I have recently taken to horror movies, so okay, but I don't. When you talk about the villains, to rate both Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees higher than Freddy Krueger, all right.
I don't like any of them on this list, but that's just
All
me.
right, well, this is my sticking
Not in the top
point.
10. Not in the top 10. But I'm also not a horror movie guy. This has been well
Right, me
established. But
neither.
I thought Chucky was a
Although-
comedy. So
Josh Hartnett was in Halloween H2O, so I did watch that one.
Bober is tanking this for us.
I
Jason
know,
was-
really. Look at him.
Scar was damn. Michael Myers was 8, and he had Freddy at 14.
He
His
had
whole
Jason at
list was
10.
probably horror movies and Batman villains.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely the Riddler is number 1. The Riddler
Oh, man, Bober, you know you've made it when Andrew's making fun of you. That's it.
Number 6.
All right, let's go.
Hannibal
there you
Lecter.
That's
Fuck off. He's number 1. Yeah.
I knew that was gonna happen. I knew it. I knew it.
Oh, 16
yeah.
minutes on screen, 1991, Silence of the Lambs. Best supporting actor goes to one, Anthony Hopkins, because everything he did in
Yep.
Silence of the Lambs mattered. The same thing happens when they do the prequel Red Dragon and the sequel Hannibal. Thomas Harris wrote 3 excellent books. They made 3 good movies. Hannibal is more for the gore, but Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs, both excellent movies. And Hannibal Lecter is the villain that believes he's right, but also has a much different way of doing things. As my headline says, quid pro quo. He's manipulative and he wants to be in control and he likes to play games. And I mean, he gives out the phone number of Will Graham to a serial killer in the first movie, in the first book, Red Dragon. Yeah, Hannibal is way higher than 6, and y'all wrong. So, like I said, 16 minutes on screen in a 120-minute movie,
Yeah.
and he wins Best Supporting Actor because of how impactful everything he did in that movie was.
So I, like you, read the books, loved the books before I ever saw the movies. And I agree with you. This, to me though, the reason he's such a good villain, it's the psychological side of it. You want to not believe he's the villain. You want to almost believe that he could be a good guy, but you know he's deranged. So to me, again, to your point, very good villain. Very good.
Yeah, and the topic they chose, a transvestite making a suit out of people he killed so he could become a woman,
Yep.
may not play in 2025 the way it did in 1991.
Correct.
May not have the same impact or significance, but this is still probably my second favorite movie of all time and
Oh wow.
very high on my book list.
Okay.
And Anthony Hopkins was the right guy to play Hannibal Lecter.
Oh yeah, definitely. Number 5,
Oh,
Voldemort.
So apparently we had a bunch of children voting this week.
Hey.
because we got horror movies and Harry Potter.
I
And somehow
have
Voldemort is better than Hannibal. Get away.
Voldemort is
Speaking of the
my
movie-
number 2.
Wow.
That's
Voldemort
how
was-
good.
Voldemort was 4 or 5 for me, but Hannibal was number 1. So there you go. It's great inflation. There's nothing wrong with Voldemort except for he is a villain that you don't see until the Goblet of Fire when he actually becomes this guy right here. Who
But
did a fantastic job as Voldemort.
to that point, there were 4 books up until that point, right? 3
Yes,
books?
Goblet of Fire is number 4.
4, yeah. Okay, where you knew, where you knew who this was, you knew to be afraid of him, and you knew the destruction that he could bring about. So to me, again, there's a reason this guy's number 2. They did him
Long
well.
game.
Yes, long game. Agree.
Yeah, but I
Also,
love how Harry,
Bogart.
the quintessential hero of the story, is the only person at 10 years old not afraid to say Voldemort's name,
Yeah.
or 12 years old, whatever it was.
Well,
He was not afraid to say Voldemort because, of course, he and Voldemort are intrinsically tied together
mhm.
because Voldemort tried to kill him and the scar and all the good stuff. So, I mean, this is a great pick. It's not number 5 if Hannibal's number 6, but it's a great pick.
Number 4, Emperor Palpatine.
Oh boy, we're gonna get
Very
some complaints again.
Palpatine? Yeah, I mean, he was in the top 3 for me. Palpatine's the straw that stirs the drink in the Empire. The Empire doesn't exist without Palpatine. Remember, he was senator, then he was chancellor, then he was the emperor.
He's gonna be mad. I had him at 8.
Yeah, well, without, Palpatine, there is no Death Star. And without no Death Star, the people of whatever planet
Sure.
they destroyed would still be alive.
Tatooine, Endor, which one?
Endor. Also, by the way,
God, I'm such a dork. Sorry.
just remember, Palpatine is the one who told Darth Vader that he killed his wife when
Yes.
he died in childbirth, and Leia and Luke also are, no longer here. And Palpatine is also the one who trained Darth Maul. He also employed Count Dooku and General Grievous to take down Yoda. He took out Windu, who was Samuel L. Jackson in the movie. He sicked Anakin Skywalker on the Sand People, as well as the little Padmes or Padwans. Yeah, Dave, he's the general manager. He is absolutely evil, and he did a lot of the killing. So it's okay.
I like how
Okay.
you guys are reciting details from the movies. I'm over here with a Weird Al song in my head.
All right.
Number 3, Thanos.
I didn't even vote for him on this list.
Oh, absolutely. He's my I had him as 4th.
Somebody had to put
Um,
him pretty far up there if he's number 3.
That's
I
what I'm saying.
mean-
He's not even on my list. And the thing is like Marvel had so many damn movies. I guess to your point, they don't have to be in all of them, but
But let's remember,
We
this
were
is the
very
villain.
liberal on this one to
This
make sure we had enough
villain-
choices.
This villain removed half of the world's population. Okay.
Yes, Dave,
And-
possibly, but remember that Palpatine is the Sith Lord, so everything falls under his jurisdiction. He's the general manager. The Infinity Wars happened because of Thanos. You are correct. He kills his own daughter.
Mhm.
I mean, that's pretty strong.
Mhm.
And he killed my man Spidey, and I don't like that. Tom Holland, please.
I cried. I
God.
cried so hard at the end of which one was it? Was it Infinity War?
Infinity Wars Part 1, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
When
I
they-
cried
when he does the
when they
snap
all
and everything
started
starts- yeah.
fading away. Tears. And I'm talking sobbing, like ugly crying. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, how but then when the movie was over, I'm like, I fucking love this. I love when a movie doesn't make you at the end always, well, I predicted that. Well, I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I never saw that coming. So
That's like
why
that
he's-
that Transformers movie, like that animated Transformers movie
Mhm.
from the 80s where big
Megatron.
shocker right at the beginning of the movie. You know, it's like, what the hell's the rest of this movie?
Yeah.
Not gonna screw it up for those
No,
that might
don't-
want to go watch that one.
All right, let's keep going. I have a feeling I know who
two.
the top two are, but
I don't know. I don't know that I would have known this. Number 2 is the Joker.
okay, maybe not then. All right.
So y'all disrespected
I had him
him
3.
a couple weeks ago. Now all of a sudden, why so serious?
I mean, yeah.
he was solidly number 2 for me behind Hannibal Lecter. Like, I mean that genuinely.
Yeah.
And again, it is because watching both those movies and these characters is a mind fuck. When he burns all of the mob's money, it was never about the money. It
Right.
was never about the money. It was about the Batman. And when he tells them, when you're good at something, never do it for free. And the whole, how about a magic trick? And you want to see these scars and all. This is perfection in terms of the DC universe. And far better than the Riddler ever has been portrayed. Sorry, Bober. But anyway, he attacked one cut. What?
I don't know
I
what
don't
that
know.
means. Anyway, yeah, this was for me without a doubt one of the best roles in the Batman series. You know, for a franchise, this was for me one of the absolute best villains. I again wanted him to be a good guy. I liked him that much. And you're cheering for the death and the dismemberment because he's that good. But again, Heath Ledger, can't say enough.
Dave, he didn't attack one city, he attacked one vigilante. His ultimate enemy and ultimate adversary was the Bat. It wasn't even Gotham City. Gotham City was the playground upon which this story took place. And as Alfred reminds everybody, some men just want to see the world burn. The world he wanted to see burn was that of Batman, that of Bruce Wayne. That's what he wanted to see burn. And there was no further motive for the Joker other than to take down the Batman. Who he killed along the way was only part of the end game.
But one difference though, when you talk about Gotham pretty much is the world when you talk about Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Superman or Spider-Man or a lot of these other ones, it is a global thing. It is never a global thing when you're talking about Batman. He is staying put right in his city the whole time. So it might as well be the entire universe. Number 1, no shocker, Darth Vader.
All right, now I'm calling foul because both my father and I had a number 1 that didn't even show up on the close to missed. Did we get that many people voting?
What was your number 1?
It was Jaws. Hello, that should not surprise anybody.
I can look at the results here.
Jaws, the shark from the Jaws movie.
I voted for Jaws, but not in the top 10.
See, I voted that Jaws #1. My dad voted it #1 because it's Jaws, and Jaws is the worst. And oh my
Jaws
god,
ain't gonna do the job for anybody. Now, the thing on Vader, guys,
yeah.
is yes, he has the Death Star in A New Hope,
Okay.
and he kills an old retired Jedi who used to be his
Okay.
he puts what's his face?
He
in
cuts
the- in
off
the
Luke
Krypton.
Skywalker's hand. His cuts off his
Krypton.
own son's hand.
Cuts off his
Right?
own son's hand.
Yeah.
But in the Return of the Jedi,
Mm-hmm.
he kills Palpatine.
Oh yeah. Well, he was bad before that.
He saves Luke and
Nah.
kills Palpatine.
He
Han
killed Obi-Wan.
Solo. He puts Han Solo in the Krypton. Well, he has the assassin do it, but you know.
He didn't do enough good stuff to make up for the bad stuff.
The problem is, until you watch the Clone Wars and the movies that precede
You
A
don't
New Hope,
understand.
you don't know any of that. You don't know that he just killed all the little children that are little Padawans. And you don't know that he destroyed an entire sand village. And you don't know that he's the guy who's the architect behind the Death Star, or at least the protector of said Death Star. So I just, obviously I'm
I
going to
hear you.
continue to battle that Darth Vader is not nearly as evil as the Emperor. I just said that, Dave, but he didn't do it until the
Jaws was number 15.
He
Oh.
did not do it until the prequels.
Followed
And
by
nobody
Norman
knows-
Bates, T-1000, Max Cady, Green Goblin, ...
Nobody knows that he killed the Padawans.
Nobody
if you
knows
only
that.
watch the original 3.
That's correct.
Nobody knows
agree.
that.
Totally agree. That's and to be
Mm-hmm.
honest,
Nobody even knows the whole battle with Obi-Wan.
a lot
until
of
you
people
watch the
haven't
prequel.
watched 1, 2, 3 because they didn't get such good, reception. A lot of people stick with 4, 5, and 6, and just that's all they watch.
Yeah.
And Rogue
Be
One,
honest.
I
the
blame
last
it on
10
Jar
minutes
Jar
of
Binks.
Rogue One,
Mm.
Vader's an
Yeah.
absolute badass. The last
Yeah.
10 minutes of Rogue One.
Yeah. I like Rogue One. I have to say.
Realistically, though, and I know I threw Jar Jar Binks under the bus there, but Jar Jar wasn't the first goofy character in a Star Wars movie.
No.
He got a bad
I don't know.
rap.
I mean, the original had Jabba the Hutt, so there's that.
Exactly. Think
And you
about
had that
all of
band.
those. Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Think about all of those things. Think about Jabba the Hutt's pet,
Yeah.
not Leia,
Mhm.
the actual pet.
But Jar Jar caught hell. It was like,
Oh yeah. Well, that's because he talked. He
And
tried
then,
to
and then
talk.
the
he
two
was on there
guys,
more. Yeah.
the two guys that were working for the Empire, it's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap.
Admiral Akbar.
Yeah. Yeah, and you
God,
only get to
such a
see
nerd.
Yoda as a badass thanks to the Clone Wars, because when
Oh,
he
yeah.
fights Count
Yeah.
Dooku, you only get to see Yoda as a badass because the Clone Wars exist. So,
Good point. Fair point.
yeah. But
Oh, it
Vader,
was
I
very
get it.
funny.
I get it.
You know, when Yoda comes up walking on the cane and then starts flipping around like crazy. I mean, it's hilarious. It's almost as ridiculous as when I was working in a grocery store and these people would barely be able to walk and would take their groceries out and they would drive off. And it's like, are you going to be quick enough to hit that brake here in a minute? You know, like, you okay out there on the road, buddy?
Oh,
Anyway,
That's funny.
let me
Good
run it
list.
down. Number 10, Freddy Krueger. Number 9, Jason Voorhees. Number 8, Scar. Number 7, Michael Myers. Number 6, Hannibal Lecter. Number 5, Lord Voldemort. Number 4, Emperor Palpatine. Number 3, Thanos. Number 2, the Joker. And number 1, again, Darth Vader.
I think the reordering of the list is the explanations that we've provided, and for that, you are all welcome.
yeah.
So, although Hannibal Lecter's still too low on this list, but that's okay.
I would like to note, though, that Dave also has personally been affected by Jaws. Like,
Oh,
I'm talking, I have been deathly afraid of sharks my entire life simply because of that movie.
I think what's missing to me with Jaws
my dad.
is the psychological, the villain itself being psychologically driven.
In all fairness, Terry, in Jaws 2, Jaws hunted those people down.
He
to go
did.
get them. So, you know,
He went to
in all
go
fairness.
find in Jaws
Well, he's single.
4. I think he went to go find like the grandson of somebody. Like, come on, it's smart
Yeah.
car.
But the thing is, like Jaws was an animal protecting his turf, you know.
But did he get in a tornado? I mean, come on, there's competition here.
I can't wait. There's
Also-
gonna be another one.
Also, Allison loves that I love the beach, but she ain't playing in the water with me
Oh, no.
anymore than Dave is.
I'll get a
And-
hotel with a pool, thanks.
Thank you
see, the
very
thing
much.
is, I have sent her multiple hotels I think we should stay at that have the aquariums that swim around you and stuff.
This is the part that's gonna amaze Andrew. We're gonna go to Costa Rica, and one of our things is a catamaran trip to go snorkeling. I am going to jump in that water so fast. He's gonna be like, "Wait, what happened?" There's something happens to me on vacation where I'm like, apparently sharks don't exist here because I am on vacation. I have done this more than once.
Sharks don't exist on vacation.
I got in Mexico once. I got taken out on a boat, dropped off in the middle of the water, and I just swam around. Okay, never in my whole life could you like think I would do that, but on vacation,
No chance.
yeah, Super Dave, no, no. Don't tell me that he went to the Bahamas. No, no. Jaws stays in Cape Cod where he's supposed to stay, where I don't go in the water ever. And
Yeah,
my
Jaws
friends
is
can
just like
attest to that.
Batman. The only thing that exists is Cape Cod.
Exactly. Thank
On
you.
the 4th of July.
On the 4th of July, correct.
Because who the hell goes to the beach on the 4th of July?
Crazy
Tourists,
people.
not
Yeah.
people that live there.
Love it.
Everybody that lives there knows better.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
Exactly.
Okay, I did not ask Dave. I was busy with the coaching search stuff. I didn't ask Dave what they're doing this week. Dave, why don't you fill us in on the info about your show this week? Are we back to Tuesday? Is there a guest?
I'll be late. Don't worry, I'm always late.
He might be a little bit behind. He's reacting to something else that we said. But anyway, while we're waiting on Dave to answer, talking wrestling with Pondwater and Amy, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. We'll find out in a moment. Anatomy of a cage match. That sounds
Oh, yeah,
good.
they're doing Tully Blanchard versus Magnum TA, November the 25th, 1985, 1 week
Wednesday.
before I was born. One of the greatest cage matches in professional wrestling took place. The finish is fantastic. And they actually know how to use a cage. So that'll be fun to watch. I forgot that that's what they said they were going to do. Because he did a Texas death match. And God
Mhm.
bless him. He should have done Vader versus Cactus Jack. But he, of course, had to choose some WCCW nonsense over to Von Erichs over there. At least Terry Gordy was in the match. And Killer Khan. None of those shitty Von Erichs. Of course, they didn't show up to work anyway. Their daddy just ran the promotion. But, oh, Dave's still here. That's my bad. Anyway, cage match, Tully Blanchard versus Magnum TA. Fantastic.
That should be
Start
good. That'll be on
with-
Wednesday night.
The Gathering.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I
Wednesday.
believe, unless it's different this week, they begin an hour earlier in the night than we do. They start at 7 p.m. instead
Correct.
of 8 p.m.
Yeah, but we're on Eastern time, so you know that's 6 Central, I guess. Gross Central, gross. Anyway, yeah, 6 Central. Ah,
And we have not finalized what our list is going to be this week. We got some thoughts on some things. This is how it happens every time. We had a series that was good, so we had several weeks that we could count on knowing what to do, and now we're back to, oh crap, what do we do? So we'll see what happens. We'll get it out there in a few days. Let you vote for that.
Terry is, oh crap, what do we do? I am just here for a good time. So I turn the computer on at 7:30, and whatever the hell we're going to talk about, let's
That's
go.
about right. Sounds right.
All right. Any parting thoughts tonight before we head into Andrew's birthday week?
Oh my
Mhm.
God.
So excited.
You guys making a far bigger deal of it than I am.
Well, you got something headed to you in the mail that I mailed yesterday, and maybe it'll get there in time. I don't know.
U.S. Postal Service during Christmas time, Terry. You should know better.
UPS.
Oh, I have to mail all your Christmas presents too.
Remember tracking Amy's?
Oh God, that went everywhere.
Yeah.
That went.
Remember tracking Amy's gift the one year, and it went from Paducah, which is closer to her. Then it went to Chicago. Then it went back to Paducah. Then it went west somewhere.
It was crazy. I made a map of
Thank
that.
you,
That was
David.
one of my first maps, I think.
It is not. It is not until Tuesday. Allison jumped the gun. I don't know if anybody can see these, but I got socks, and it says it took 40 years. It took 40 years to look this good. That's what the socks say. So I will be wearing my black shirt and pink tie outfit on Tuesday. So
Yay.
socks go with that. Since
Excellent.
my pants will be charcoal gray. In case you all wondered what I'll be wearing on my birthday. I was actually going to wear that outfit tomorrow, but she ruined that with this package that showed up.
You're welcome. I love you.
You don't look like you're 39 anymore, or something to that effect.
No, it
And,
said smells like you're not in your 30s anymore.
that's right. That's what it said. Also, I know that I'm not in my 30s anymore. I have been having like the worst congestion in the morning, like sore throat. I bought a fucking
Get ready.
humidifier today. I
You're
bought
old.
a humidifier today because I am tired of dealing with it. So I now have a humidifier in my
That's it.
room, and
It's
it is
official.
lovely. I got that thing cranked up to 40. Allison would hate it because it is
Well, so gross. This is
heaving
why
over
you
it.
get your own house in the compound because
God, I love it. I love the humidity. I mowed the grass today, bagged it so I can go ahead and put the pre-emergent weed killer on it. I'm ready. So it was a busy day. I'm working Tuesday. Yeehaw. There might be a cake. Who knows? I don't even own one of those. I don't know what he's talking about. But anyway.
Humidifier.
lawnmower.
A lawnmower or a humidifier?
No, humidifier. Yeah, humidifier because he's so old. That's why.
Yeah, well, Bober is old,
He's
and I would be the goon in ball hockey, but I'm probably too young, even at 40, in 2 days to play ball hockey in Bober's league. So there's that. You have to be an official member of AARP to play ball hockey with Mike Bober. That's what I heard. That's the American Association of
That
Retired
could be
People.
taken a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Ball hockey or AARP?
It's them.
The whole thing.
That's what she said.
And we're off the rails.
All right. It's time to go to bed.
Okay, it is, and I need to go see what the kids are up to. But thanks everybody that tuned in. Happy birthday again to Andrew. As always, love your people. Tell them you love them. Make it weird. See you next time, everybody.